everybody, to Tuesday Tips. My name is Pam and I am one of your nurse advocates with Your Nurse Advocate Consulting. This month, as we've been talking about, we've been focusing on aging in place. That is a very popular trend now with our aging adults. And as our time goes on, like I said, in many other episodes, I've shared that by 2030, all baby boomers will be 65 years of age or older. So what is that going to do to our healthcare system and how we care for our aging? So aging in place has become a hot topic. So what we wanted to talk about today is technology. Can technology really impact or enhance someone's ability to age in place, stay at home for as long as is safely possible? The answer is yes. And we did a video, probably maybe a year ago or so, on this topic, on just the technology. And so many things have changed since then. So I'm really excited to kind of share this with you. This is kind of a fun hands-on where you can, walk away with some action items and some things that you could look at or try. There's a couple of innovations that have come out that I have not talked about before, which are kind of neat. So I'm excited about doing that. So let's go ahead and get started. If I look away now and then, I'm just checking my notes, just making sure that I don't leave anything out and bring you all the goods this evening for Tuesday Tips. So if you have any questions at any time, go ahead, drop a comment in there, and I will be able to see that. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's jump in. All right. So the first category we're going to talk about is the role of smart home devices. So smart home devices could be cameras, it could be Alexa, it could be Echo, it could be those kind of things. So one of the things we're going to talk about is Echo 8. Echo 8 now that is out has voice controlled phone commands. So for example, if someone couldn't access the phone and they can't reach it, or maybe they've fallen, or they, for some reason, they can't get to the phone, they can use a voice command and say, call Pam, on her cell. And so this was kind of a neat addition to that. So that's one of the things, and I'm going to go through these kind of quickly. So if you want to know these, you don't have to take notes. You can go to the blog post, and that's posted on our in both our Facebook group and as well as our Facebook page, and the link to that blog post. So all this stuff will be in the blog post if you want to go back and look at something specifically. So don't worry about taking notes unless you want to, but I will have that in the blog post for you. Now, here's a new one. And when I was reading about this and learning about this, this is really kind of neat. It's called geofencing, and it uses a GPS to initiate a safe zone around your home, like the perimeter and outside. So if a loved one were to go outside the safe zone, they would get an alert from a phone app, as long as you're using a smartphone. So I thought that was really kind of neat. There's smart door locks now, and that's been around for a little bit with coded entry. So if you're worried about someone losing keys, and if someone has a code, and this came up, we were working with one of our clients and talking about getting life alert for his wife. She does have some falls, and so we thought this would be, a prudent measure. And one of his concerns is that a friend of theirs, called 911 with one of those life alerts, and it was a mistake. They really didn't need to, but he's afraid, EMS is going to have to knock down their door, and maybe it's not needed. So one of the things is that with these smart doors, with the codes, the smart locks, with the codes, then the emergency medical system or your life alert, they could have the code so that someone could get in without having to break the door down. And that's another, and while we're on that subject, that was one of the things that came up now with the life alerts. Not only do you, old fashioned, like back, when I was nursing, started nursing back in the early 80s, the life alert was there, and they would push a button. It actually went to the emergency room in our area, went to the emergency room where I worked at, and we would physically answer that. And then we would ask them what was all right. Do they need emergency, or do they want one of their responses called? And it's come a long way since then. Now, actually, the life alerts, they have fall detection. So, for example, if you were to fall and maybe you're knocked unconscious, or your your watch maybe falls off, or you can't reach your pendant, or you can't push the button, they now have fall detection, so they can talk to you, and if need to, send emergency medical assistance based on you falling. So that's a nice upgrade to your life alert. And also, they have some life alerts where they work off a cell phone, so you can actually use them even when you're away from your home, versus those that are set up, with your landline and your home phone. There are motion automated lighting, so the lights can be turned on before entering a room. And we always know, Alexa, turn on the lights, or we have the clapper. So so before maybe an aging adult enters a room, and if it's dark, they can get the lights on before they have to walk halfway across the room and maybe stumble or fall or trip. Motion detectors can be a home safety alert with smartphones. You can watch your parents' home, kind of like a sophisticated baby monitor, like we have with our babies, to when they're sleeping, that we can keep an eye on them. So a lot of these things have come a long way. Your phone, your smartphone, is actually can become a lifeline in your pocket. There's so many different apps out there. Some really common ones that you know and when you're thinking about the seniors and our aging adults, our aging loved ones, we really have to be cognizant about their ability to use the technology. And that is a barrier to the technology. Both my mother in law and my mom, they don't know how to use a computer. They never wanted a computer. They don't have Wi Fi in their homes. And they have smartphones because that's what they have, but they don't know how to use. They just use them as a phone. My mother-in-law, before she passed away recently, she would use her phone in the car, and she would turn it on when she went someplace, turn it off when she got home, and that was the only time that she ever really used her phone. And that was just her way of dealing with it. So sometimes we have that challenge. There's actually companies out there, you can Google, there's different companies out there that actually work with training seniors, training aging adults in how to use technology. Sometimes your aging and disability resource centers, your senior centers, places like that will have classes, of where they will have someone that will help to teach and educate our aging adults on how to use some of this technology. FaceTime. I have a client is on our monthly program. We do a couple of check-in calls a month with them, and we don't Zoom. We don't get on the computer. We all have iPhones, so we FaceTime, and that's how I can see them and they can see me. And we do our check-in calls monthly. So we just conduct what we need to do via our smartphones. There's Skype, Lyft, Uber for rides. A lot of times that's a challenge in rural areas where I live. There's no Uber, there's no Lyft. I have to drive probably 40 minutes before I get that kind of a service. So it doesn't work for everybody. Facebook is seems to be one of the platforms that aging adults over the years, if they've used it, have gotten comfortable. That's nice. I mean, we have a family, both sides of the family, my husband's side and my side, we have a family Facebook group, so that our family can go there, that we can share pictures, maybe of things that we don't want to share publicly, but there's a place where we can share things as a family. GrandPad has been out for quite a while now. GrandPad is a very basic tablet, big buttons. You don't do a lot with it, but it's a way of communicating, connecting, video chatting, doing those things. So GrandPad has been very popular. Luminosity, we did talk about Luminosity one time before, when we were talking about dementia and helping our aging adults keep their mind sharp. But Luminosity is a free app, and there's actually mind games and things on there. You can get a paid version as well, but there's mind games and things on there that can help keep our aging adults mind sharp, give them something to do for a little bit of time during their day, and it's also helping their brain and helping their mind stay sharp. So a bridge It's ABRIDGE, is an app. This is kind of a cool thing. This was new for me as I was doing my research. But a bridge is an app that can record the conversation with your doctor. And so this can help your aging loved one. How many times have you maybe gone, your aging loved one has gone to the doctor and you're following up and say, well, what did the doctor say? Well, he said this, but I really don't remember a lot of what he said. So this is an app that on their phone, they can access that app, and it will record the doctor's conversations with them while they're at their appointment. And this app is free, and it's also available on both iPhone and Android. So I thought that was kind of neat. Next door, I've just been learning. One of our clients mentioned it, and I really didn't know what it was, so I wanted to check this out too. Next door is it's a free social media app, and it allows users to communicate people just that live within their neighborhood. So it's not global like Facebook or anything like that, but this is so that you can communicate with your neighbors. And there's probably a little bit of a no like and trust factor there. Maybe feel a little bit more secure conversing with people you know in your neighborhood. So that was kind of neat. They can post messages. Say, for example, can anybody help me take out the trash? Can somebody help? Could someone help me with a home repair, or I need my lawn mowed? Is there someone in the neighborhood that can help me? So it's kind of neat to be able to offer services or request services. And again, can be used on both iPhones and Android. So I thought that Nextdoor is a really kind of a neat social media app. Moving into medications, one of the ones I like is Hero. Hero it alarms, it opens automatically at the time. I mean, you have to manually fill them, every couple of weeks, but it will alarm. A door will open, say, it's time to take your medicines, and then if those medicines are not taken out and the drawer is closed, actually a caregiver family member will get a notification via the smartphone, via the app, letting them know that their medication, they did not get their medications as directed. So that's a nice way to stay on top of medications, because that's usually one of the first things that people have trouble with the aging in place, where they're questioning whether or not they're safe, is maybe they're not taking their medications properly, they're forgetting, there maybe, even if it's in a pill caddy, a family member will go and they'll see 2 days in there, and so they know they've missed them, or they'll see things taken out of each one. So that can be a real mess. Some of the things, we have home video surveillance. There's a lot. There's Blink. We have our Ring cameras, the doorbells. We have all kinds of things now where you can do home surveillance, and that offers really a whole new level of safety and reassurance with our aging loved ones that want to age in their home. So, this technology allows, family members and caregivers to remotely monitor the senior's environment, ensuring that they're safe and well. So, motion detections there, night vision capability. So even if it's at nighttime and your aging loved one is getting up to go to the bathroom at night, I mean, it allows you to be able to see clear images. So that is, so you always have kind of a protective, a watchful eye over your aging loved ones. So, a previous client of ours, just to kind of bring this to kind of a real world experience, one of our past clients had Alzheimer's, and we had to use a lot of safety devices. She wandered, so we had tools for that. We had to do locks. She would, in the beginning, when we were just seeing what she was capable of, we caught her escaping out a window. She would attempt to eat and drink things that were not appropriate. So she had a very severe case of Alzheimer's, and her husband's one wish was to keep her home with him and not have her to go in a facility. So it was very difficult. And as time went on, we had to bring in caregivers as well as all the gadgets. But we were able to accomplish that. So where there is a will, there is a way. But it takes a lot of planning, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes a village to really make something like that happen when you're aging in place with some form of dementia. Telehealth services, if you go on the blog post, I've got Dr. James Williams' video on there that you can see. He did a video for us for our Senior Care Summit 2024, and his whole practice is telehealth. And I remember back in the hospital when COVID was just starting, and really COVID really was the birth of a lot of this technology, and to try and increase access to healthcare services. And so we used to have to someone would come to the clinic or the hospital, we'd wheel in this big computer and hook everything up, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. And now Dr. Williams shares with us that he has a Bluetooth stethoscope, so he can hear Wi-Fi with this virtual stethoscope and listen to heart and lung sounds. He can do a virtual visit just on a smartphone. So, you don't need to have this fancy computer or get online. If there's a caregiver or a family member that can just be in the home, if the aging adult is not tech savvy even to use a smartphone, all it takes is someone to be there with them to be able to answer the phone and be there with them to help them, and you can get a virtual visit with a physician. So his video is in there. I find it very interesting. We really pressed him about questions about technology and seniors, and being seniors being adverse to wanting to use technology. We asked him to talk about some of those barriers, and he did a real nice job talking about that as well. There are wearable health monitors. Your smartwatches now, there's a lot of watches now that can monitor your heart rates, and people can see when they go into an irregular heart rhythm. So there's a lot of things like that, more sophisticated. A lot of the clinics and hospital systems, they have remote monitoring programs, like for congestive heart failure, diabetes, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. There's different kinds of programs that they can do remotely to monitor for these chronic diseases. Also, high blood pressure, hypertension, and so those are just some of the diseases that they can manage remotely with some technology. If you're trying to introduce technology to your aging loved one, really, really start simple. Start with the most simplest device that you feel would be of benefit, and then gradually introduce them to more advanced options. Just getting to them to use a smartphone or a cell phone is a step in the right direction. Seek out user-friendly, technologies that are designed with seniors in mind, and just make sure that the privacy settings are properly configured, to maybe safeguard their personal information. So this is, the landscape is really changing, and technology is playing a pivotal role in shaping the future of, seniors to be able to age in the comfort of their own home. And so I just want, I did a lot of research and I've used a lot of these products, but I don't know all of them. So if you or your family have used any kind of these technology products and have had good results, I'm asking you, please share them in the comments, for this video post or the blog post where we talk about the technologies and aging in place. Would love to be able to share something that's really working for you, that may be able to help one of the members of our community be able to take advantage of what's worked for you. So please share any of the technology or phone apps or anything that you've gotten good results with. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap up. I just want to bring on, if you go to the blog post, I just want to say there is a resource section on that blog post, and there are several links that I used when I was doing my research. So they go into a little bit more depth about some of these products and services, and even address some more that I did not talk about today, just for lack of time. So don't hesitate to reach out, look at that blog post, and just take what information off of there that might be helpful for you. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we are going to wrap up this Tuesday tips. I'm going to see if we have any questions out there. And so I'll give you just another couple seconds if you want to type in a question, and I will get that answered for you. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap up. I continue. If you have any suggestions, any topics regarding caregiving or caring for our aging loved ones, please reach out and let me know. I would love to be able to bring you value, talk about the things that you most want to hear about and learn more about. And we have right now in our Facebook group, our private forum, we have a question of the week going on right now, and that question is, if is what causes the most, or what causes the most difficult conversation that you have with your aging loved ones? What topic really gets a heated conversation going? And if you can think of something like that, also drop that in the comments, because we'd like to help you and address some of those difficulties as well. So I don't see a question, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next time on Tuesday Tips. Take care.